destination.
Get
This is your virtual tour for the Garrick Theater. Chapter 1, Introduction of the Garrick. This theater was originally named the Schiller Theater after the German playwright, poet, and philosopher. This is a vintage postcard of the theater as the Schiller Theater. The Schiller Theater was changed to the Dearborn Theater for a brief stint and was later named the Garrick Theater. A large portion of the facade featuring portraits of famous Germans was later saved and was incorporated into the entranceway of the Second City Theater on North Wells Street, though there is much speculation as to who the faces on the facade are. Here's a random bit of trivia for you. Louis Sullivan designed the building, but Frank Lloyd Wright was Sullivan's chief draftsman when the show was built. But after Wright left Sullivan's firm and started his own practice, his first office was in the Schiller building. Chapter 2. How Panic was averted at the Garrick Theater. Much of this section is based off of an article from the Tribune dated 12/31/03. That's 1903. Less than 1 block away from the Garrick Theater, a huge fire was happening at the Iroquois Theater. Hearing about the fire at the Iroquois, the manager of the Garrick didn't want to disturb his audience, so he locked the doors at intermission. He didn't want his audience to panic about the fire down the street at the Iroquois Theater, so he got his lead actor, Wilton Lively, to come out at intermission and tell some more jokes, and the orchestra to play some more music so that the audience wouldn't have to know about the hundreds of people dying practically right next door. According to the article, it went on to say that after the show, the audience came out cheerful and happy after seeing a good show. But many of their friends and family were waiting outside for them because they had heard about the fire at the other theater and thought that maybe this theater was burning too. Chapter 3, Movies and Television. The Garrick Theater was one of Chicago's outstanding legitimate, i.e. not vaudeville or burlesque theaters, which had the like of such stars as Theda Bara, Faye Venter, Claire, and my personal favorite, Jane Cowell. Until March of 1934, when it became a movie theater. Oh, but movies didn't last too long there either. During the late 40s and into the mid-50s, the Garrick was used for local television broadcasts, for shows like Garfield Goose.
Garfield, I have a question for you. Hey, you can't answer me. I didn't even ask it yet. Hit it, kid.
But the TV studio era didn't last too long either. In 1957, Balaban and Katz resumed showing movies at the Garrick with the movie Fear Strikes Out. It's a baseball movie. Chapter 4, Shutting Down. When it was announced that the Garrick would be shutting down in 1960 and it would be torn down, there was one of the first organized public outcries in Chicago to save an historic building. Even as it was being torn down, it was determined that the building was structurally sound and could have been converted for other purposes. Part of the preservationist team were Richard Nickel, as well as John Vinci, who spearheaded the project of moving the old Chicago Stock Exchange trading floor to the Art Institute. Here's another view of the Garrick shortly before its destruction from a photo taken by Richard Nickel, who was actually killed by trying to salvage architectural fragments from the Chicago Stock Exchange, another Sullivan work, in 1972. He was crushed when the trading room floor collapsed. Chapter 5, The End. Great architecture has only two natural enemies, water and stupid men. A Richard Nickel quote. So what exactly was it that led to the Garrick being torn down? Did the owners close it because someone offered them a ton of money for the property? Was that the deal? What was the deal? Well, they said that the office building was updated and that the owners saw a parking garage as more